That
All right. Here we go. All right, here we go, guys. So we got Derek. How you doing, Derek?
So good, buddy.
So good. Derek's live from Colorado. Wyatt, normally from Idaho. He's online in the Mizzou, correct?
Yeah. Back in Missouri.
How's your vacation going, brother?
Long one, man. 7 days tomorrow.
Oh, that's nice. So you headed home tomorrow?
Great. Yeah, we got to fly. A little nervous about the flight.
Why?
Flying out here, we were lucky. We had no one in the middle seat next to us, so that was awesome.
I'm a large American.
My wife got to have the window, and I had the aisle.
There you go.
And there was room, but there's someone between us.
Yeah, all good.
There's someone between us on the flight home, so we're gonna try to get him moved, or her, whoever the hell it is.
Like, look,
as a favor to them too. I mean,
yeah, they'll want him.
You'd rather have an average row of 3 people.
I'm pretty broad, man. I'm pretty broad.
Yeah, these tips don't lie.
I get nervous. Good one. All right, well, let's start it off, boys. Week 4, some pretty good football happened. Derek, did you get to see anything in the Jets game at all?
I had a heavy penny on Zach Wilson over 233 and a half passing yards. So for no reasonable, reason, I was watching a lot of the Jets game. And
that's strong.
It is. It's degenerate. It's bad. If you're betting on the Jets in any way, you have a problem. So
yeah,
that's the truth.
But I figured at some point they were going to have to let him loose and use the cannon that he showed one time in pro day. So
yeah,
they did, and it actually worked.
We're gonna have to put the Gamblers Anonymous hotline number down here at the bottom of the screen underneath your name every week.
Just scroll it.
Put that graphic in there underneath you.
Yeah. If you have a problem, not if you have a problem. You clearly have a problem. Call this number.
Oh, it's you again? Hello.
That's fantastic. So question then. So I was looking at that. So Jamison Crowder's back. And he's always been kind of like a fantasy boo for a while. But you got Corey Davis seems to have a really great connection with him. Moving forward, would you say, but I think Crowder got some targets in this thing, but moving forward, would you still trust Corey Davis?
I do. The reason I had the over on his yards is because they were facing the worst defense on the planet in Tennessee. They can't cover anybody, and
what's Vrabel doing?
Yeah, they can't rush the passer and they can't cover anybody, which equals over on the passing yards. Yeah. But moving forward, if they face any real defenses, I think it's going to struggle. I think he's going to be matchup dependent all year. But if you got the right matchup, I think he's going to be a good one.
Yeah, pass protection seems to be an issue for poor Zach Wilson. But just one highlight, that dime he threw where he pointed out, he says, go.
It was pro day. That was pro day. That is the throw. Yeah. And you saw it. I mean, the thing just came off his hand, electric.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. So would you categorize then Corey Davis as like a wide receiver 2 moving forward, or more of like just a flex?
Here, I'd say he's a flex with wide receiver 2 upside. Again, I think he's kind of matchup dependent. If you have somebody better, given matchups, I'd probably go with that because he's going to lay some eggs the rest of the season too. But he's also going to have some big games. It's going to be frustrating if he's your permanent wide receiver 2. I think.
Yeah. Actually, I was talking to Feldman, who's in our fantasy league, Wyatt, and he wants to trade me one of his bench wide receivers for my defense. So here's which is sort of weird, right? So I've got the Bills.
Yeah.
I got the Bills, and they've been really, really solid. But I thought, man, if I could get so the trade I sent him is I sent him the Bills and Allen Robinson for the Steelers and Mike from the Buccaneers, Mike
Evans.
Mike Evans. So I'm throwing it out there. I mean, Corey Davis is probably a little bit more fair, but when I ran the trade thing, it just looked totally one-sided in his favor, just because I think the Bills are I mean, they actually won me, or at least got me close to winning the game this last week. It scored me 32 or something.
But I think Godwin has stepped up on Tampa, kind of taking Evans.
Yeah, but didn't he get like 0 catches? I think he had 0 catches.
Godwin?
Yeah.
He had like 2 big ones right at the beginning of the game that
Oh,
didn't
he did?
do anything
Oh,
else.
nothing.
Yeah. So he ended up like 60 some yards, something like that. But they were all like on two receptions early.
Yeah. I saw some guys complaining about Godwin in a forum earlier. So
It's going to be really frustrating all season with those guys too, because there's so many ways to go, and Tom will just spread it wherever the open guy is. So it's not.
Yeah, he'll spread it like Giselle. I think Gronk is out for like what, 2 to 3 more weeks.
Spread.
Yep, a couple.
Spread it like Giselle.
Oh,
very nice.
He's so beautiful. I would curl up in the cleft in his chin.
You would spread it for Tom too?
Oh yes. No, the cleft of his chin is just the place I want to be.
Yeah. Surgery. He had surgery, I think.
Oh God, I hope so. I hope that's not natural, or else what shot do any of us have?
That's right.
TB12. It's today's sponsor, TB12 system.
So, Dub, talk about your Cowboys game.
I wish I could say I watched a single bit of football this week.
Oh, you didn't see the game?
Knowledge. No,
the trip.
I'm staying with some poors. They don't have DirecTV Sunday ticket out here, and we drove to St. Louis and caught a Cardinals game. So I saw a first pitch home run, and we had a rain delay. So those were my first ever pro home run. That was awesome.
That's sweet.
The Jalen Smith getting cut, I saw that coming, but I wasn't hoping it wasn't this soon. And Zeke Elliott came to play. I know that much. Yeah. I love that.
He did, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Amari had a touchdown, so that was great for my team. I have Cooper as my WR1.
Yeah, that's awesome. Zeke went for 20 carries for 143 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Looked great out there. But then again, they were playing from ahead a bit too, so they just stuck with that run, and that really helped them a lot.
What did Pollard do? Did he get
not nearly as much play? Yeah,
I think he had 10 carries for like 30 or something. I don't have the stats in front of me.
Pollard's
lost.
Yeah. No.
So if I would have started Zach Moss over, I picked up what we were talking about last time. I picked up Hubba Chubbard and
Hubba Chubbard,
or whatever it is.
Double bubble. Hubba double bubble. And
I was playing Bubble Bobble.
Yeah, and that wobble bobble didn't quite.
Bowl.
But Zach Moss got 12 and he got 8, so I lost by 4.
Of course you did. That's how it works.
Of course, I literally did.
Oh, Derek, I feel so
bad.
But
at least
for you,
Derek Carr, one thing I'm happy about is Derek Carr kind of slumped. So, not slumped. He's still having a great year, but.
Well, that game.
I know to not play him because his numbers were pretty inflated in the first 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
anyway, go Cowboys.
He stays number
Parsons.
1. I don't think he stays number 1 in yardage. I don't think there's any chance of that at all. So on the Cowboys, I always thought Blake Jarwin was going to be something, but since he got hurt last year, Dalton Schultz came in. And so far on the year, Dalton Schultz has had 6, 2, 7, and 8 targets in the first 4 games. So 6, 2, 7, and 8. I kind of think he's rosterable as a tight end too. It seems like he's more trusted than Jarwin is at this point. Derek, any thoughts on that one at all?
Well, I picked him up in my 2 big leagues. So I'm a believer. It seems like there are, unlike last year where everything was just Dak drop back and, save us, and then they'd still lose. They actually have a real kind of team, which just hurts me to say. I don't know why I hate the Cowboys. I just do. Like everybody who's not a Cowboys fan is automatically just hates the Cowboys. That's the rule. But they are fun, and I think they've put something good together there where they are balanced and they're using everything that they have. I think Schultz, he's not going to have huge upside some of the TE ones, but after the first few guys, tight end is such a rough position. And
it's a have and have not position.
Forget. I mean, if you have Tanyan or you have Jonnu Smith or Henry or any of the any of these guys that were in the the 6 through 12, Logan Thomas. I'd be super excited if I was able to pick up Schultz right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. Oh, here comes Carlos. Let's admit him.
I'm glad I have George Kittle, even though he's having a slow start.
He's having a slow start. I'd target George Kittle in a heartbeat if you're in a league with somebody who would allow you to. Yeah, like that. I mean, he's gonna be a big part of it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I could offer Derek Carr and I kind of want Waller, and if I could give.
Good luck. You're gonna have to give up the farm to get him. Yeah, I mean his target share is insane.
Yeah, it's awesome. Superman.
Oh, there he is. Los Jones.
Are they?
Running on black people time. Sorry, fellas.
You do the same thing, Los. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
No.
Okay.
Wow.
T-shirt contest. Oh,
whoa.
Give me those, Nate.
You like that? You like that?
That was nice. Sorry, fellas.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. We got started without you. So we were just talking about the Cowboys there for a second. They're looking pretty good in tight ends.
Were you at the Ravens game?
Oh,
I was.
Yeah.
You were there?
I got to represent black quarterbacks.
So did you dogfight too, or?
No.
Oh, you're not repping them that hard.
No one messes with Los Jones in a stadium. I'll tell you right now.
I was looking for a fight. Nobody wanted to play with me.
Bitches.
Fantastic.
I've seen that stadium. That's all though.
So Los, tell me about the game a little bit. Did it go as you thought it would?
Yeah, with Lamar's back injury, he didn't run as much as I anticipated, but he looked good. The Broncos, they got lucky a couple plays that with the penalties. That one touchdown got called back, the tight end back in the end zone just broke out all by himself. I didn't see a penalty on that, but they got lucky. But they look good. The Ravens are tough, man. Even with the injuries, you can tell they're well coached and they don't beat themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, unless Lamar fumbles on the final drive of the game, giving it back to the Raiders, in which case that lost me 2 fantasy points and the game. That's
at the next Black People's meeting. I'm gonna talk to them about that, Derek. We don't.
Okay, thank you. No, I'm already. We're over it. We squashed it. It's good.
Okay. I tell you what, Drew Luck's not the answer.
No, that was rough. I was so hoping that he'd just come in and dominate and make make everybody think, okay, this guy still could be the answer moving forward, something like that. Teddy's looked so good early, and as soon as he went out, that it was gone.
They went away quickly.
But the second quarter though, Teddy wasn't moving the ball either. Baltimore was doing a good job. Our pass protection was really rough.
That pass rush was on him.
It was.
Well, no Dalton Reisner. I think Glasgow was out as well. I mean, it was going to be rough on the interior, and they definitely took advantage of that. But even with that, Teddy still in a game like that, it's low scoring. You kind of keep it within a score, and then you see what happens. It felt like we were going to lose that no matter what, but it definitely got away from us in the second half when once Drew Lock came in.
So I missed probably make some opportunities. That drop touchdown to Albert. That was huge. And then the ball protection fell apart. I thought they should have kept running the ball. That rookie's looking good.
Oh, yeah,
dude, that run, Javonte's run.
Javonte, wow. I mean, that was the best. That was the best run. That was the best run of the week. To me, that was the best run of the week.
Yeah, that was one of the better non-touchdown runs I've seen.
One of the funny parts about that too was the NFL on their Instagram posted that Javonte Williams run on there, and one of the top comments with the most likes was from Marlon Humphreys, and he just put on there, "Help, please." Was his comment? Help, please. I mean, he got drugged. He got drugged 20 yards. He got drugged 20 yards by that dude.
The stadium's on fire. The stadium's on fire. Yeah.
Oh, I bet you the stadium was going absolutely bananas.
It reminded me of reminded me of me playing Tecmo Bowl with Bo Jackson back in the day.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's just
No,
he just didn't bounce off 10 yards backwards when he grabbed him.
I went flying in the air, but yeah, no, it was nice.
Javante didn't run in a zigzag pattern either. I think he would have scored. He would have scored for sure.
Or 80 yards the wrong way, and
Yeah.
then 110
right.
yards
Turn
the
back
right
around,
way.
yeah.
It's the way you got 150 yards in one run. It's perfect.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
That's perfect. Well, everybody knows that Bo Jackson only ran in one direction anyways, and it was through your ass.
Mhm.
So that was pretty true to life, though. I mean, that guy was the most unstoppable force in football for about 4 years.
Yep.
Other than Carlos Jones.
Yeah,
Well,
on Cincy.
Wow.
Bo Jackson, of course.
Fantastic. So let's talk real quick about the Cardinals game. So the Cards come out 4-0. The only undefeated team left on that deal. I did not expect that. I did not expect them to go in there and win that game. What happened? Anybody that saw that one want to chat on that one at all?
AJ Green, didn't he get in a fight?
Oh, I didn't see that.
That might have been an old clip. I apologize again. I didn't see it. I didn't see a bit of football.
No.
Yeah,
He got in a fight. Yeah, it was against the Steelers though. It's really weird.
yeah, I watched the game. It was Kyler Murray, man. I mean, it's the black quarterback. I don't know what it is. We're not going to jail and getting bitches pregnant. We are doing good things on the football field.
Mhm.
He's
makes-
unstoppable.
He makes 5'11" look real good.
100%. He's so fast and he's accurate.
Oh.
You know what I mean? He's that perfect combination of speed. I don't know how he sees over the lineman, but
Yeah,
that guy, he's balling his ass off. He kind of did this stuff last year until he got hurt when they kind of fell off. I think they're like 6-2 at one point or something like that. But it feels like he's taking that next leap. You know what I mean? Kind of like Josh Allen did his second year. Like it's all starting to click, right? Now you got better receivers and whatnot, and it's they're scary. They're scary.
Well, the defense is pretty solid too. It's an interesting season because you got all the great teams are getting beat by the other great teams. I mean, other than the Cardinals, seems like Tampa in week 2, or they face LA beats them, and then LA gets beat by the Cardinals, and then it's going to be there's parity for sure, but it's going to be exciting. Cardinals, I will say this, D-Hop definitely does not see. I don't know if there's something wrong with him or if it's just the way the offense is running, but he just, he used to always be a target monster. Now he's just a part of the group, which probably makes them a better team. But, for fantasy perspective, if you draft a D-Hop, up high, you're probably disappointed right now. I don't know if that gets any better.
So I have him in one league, and I think that's almost typical of him to be pretty good out of the gate, not incredible, but then it's almost like as the season goes on, he just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Like that, to me, I think he's the best in the game. I mean, don't get me wrong, Devontae Adams is absolutely incredible, but I mean, they're 1A.
Well, there's some dudes out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, the nice part is that we got some super young guys like Justin Jefferson that absolutely are saying, hey,
CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah. That my name belongs up there. Yeah, my name belongs up there. So
I will tell you the part that really surprised me in that Cardinals game is the way they ran the ball. Totally different than what we've seen them before. I mean, they scored all those points. You'd expect that Kyler Murray had, 400 yards and Hopkins had, 10 catches. And that's just not how it was. They just beat the shit out of LA up front.
So let's talk about that real quick. So you got James Conner and you got Chase Edmonds back there. I think at the beginning of the year, no one thought Conner was going to do much, but he's getting all the goal line carries and he looks pretty good on top of that. So, I mean, do you still consider Chase Edmonds and like RB2?
Well, I think the deal was he got away from that horrible line in Pittsburgh, and there's a better line in Arizona, and it's starting to show. I thought the whole thing with the game plan was they took away Cooper Kupp from Matthew Stafford, and it really just they didn't recover from. They didn't adjust well to it.
Yeah.
And I mean, the game was worse than what the score indicated. I mean, it wasn't. It was just a complete domination by Arizona. But I think the biggest thing with Connor is that line. It's nice to get a line, right? Hopkins isn't, I mean, now there's AJ Green, right? Still got Kirkpatrick. I mean, there's just weapons, Kirk to distribute the ball to, so you can't focus on one person.
Yeah, so many ways to beat you with that team.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And JJ Watt's playing his ass off. That D line is stout.
They're very stout.
They're scary.
Jones is real good.
Real good. I will say this. I disagree a bit with. Huh? Oh yeah, love Buda Baker. I will say I disagree with James Conner. I think he's been he's kind of turning into just a guy. They do have a much better offensive line there. The Pittsburgh's offensive line might be the worst in the league right now. But I mean, Connor, I think he had
Roethlisberger sucks that bad.
Oh, you put a 39-year-old completely immobile quarterback who can't throw anymore behind the worst offensive line in the league. You're going to have bad results. That's how that works. But this last one I was looking at, Connor had 18 carries for 50 yards for a whopping 2.8 per carry, and that's kind of how he's been all year. He's big and he still has a nose for the end zone, so he will pilfer some of those goal line carries from Chase Edmonds. But Chase was 12 for 120. He had a long one of 54, but even without that one, he had a huge per carry average. He's just a better player, more efficient, and he's much more useful in the passing game. They don't throw to Connor at all. So yeah, I think your original question, I think Chase has really emerged as a solid RB2. Depending on what your other options are. Yeah. But I like that guy, and he's going to get the work moving forward. They use him the right way. Cliff Kingsbury's turned out to be a good NFL head coach, college guy who didn't win anything at the college level, turned into a pretty good head coach. Although kind of the opposite of Urban Meyer, won everything at the college level and can't seem to figure his shit out.
What in the hell?
I think he knows just what he's doing.
Oh, he knows.
He's got him right where he wants him.
He's thinking, "What's my buyout? What's my buyout?"
Yeah, he's gonna have a health issue soon. He's not gonna make it.
Exactly. Yeah. After discussing with the family, it just turns out my heart can't take it.
Yeah, I can't take the clap that I got at the club. I got to retire.
His first round quarterback's gonna say, "You know what? I'm not playing with this guy," and they're gonna give him a heart condition, and he's gonna have to.
Oh yeah,
I heard the truth. Quote. I mean, his quote, it says the ownership definitely has the players in mind. I mean, he knows they're not loyal.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got a generational quarterback there. You can't let Urban Meyer ruin his
sunshine.
Well, apparently there's already discord inside the locker room. They didn't like a lot of his college ways coming in, and they just kind of look at him differently. I mean, there's college coaching, and then there's NFL coaching, and it's two totally flipping different things.
It's just weird how like Matt Rule made the jump, right? And he's looking great, and
true.
Kingsbury, who knew? But
I was one of the biggest criticizers of that move.
Yeah, he couldn't win. Yeah, Pat Mahomes, he couldn't win.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? So who knows?
So
who? Pat Mahomes. What's his
name?
Some guy.
Patty? Patrick.
Heard of him. So how about old Cam Darnold? I mean, this dude is leading.
Does he lead the league right now in rushing?
In rushing touchdowns.
At
some point on Sunday, he took the lead. I don't know if he still has it, but my goodness gracious! I mean, this guy runs for 2 more touchdowns. I mean, what is going on in Carolina? How is Sam Darnold doing this?
Well, the first idea is you get away from anything regarding Adam Gase. You get rid of from Adam Gase. I don't know. That guy made a career. How many millions did Peyton Manning off of one season make that guy? He got 2 head coaching jobs and has been horrible every step of the way. He is where players go to die, and clearly you can be reborn if you get away from him. So,
yeah, I mean, Tannehill. I mean, did anyone think Tannehill was ever going to do anything in Tennessee?
No, he did.
Yeah, not to this degree. I mean, I knew he was a solid quarterback because he did okay, right? But no one knew he was going to turn into what he turned into.
Yeah, Adam Gase, man. I mean, I actually feel kind of bad for the guy just because, I mean, his name is Mud. I mean, it is Mud. With Derek's face, what's going on?
That's the Adam Gase at the press conference when he got the job for the Jets. He was just looking around.
I wonder if New York media seems to get to people. They have high expectations, a lot of attention, a lot of glitz and glamour, and
yeah, no, it'll break some pretty solid people for sure. I mean, even like
maybe they'll hire Urban Meyer, make the switch.
Even the likes of Isaiah Thomas when he went to go run the Knicks, man. I mean, they drove him into the ground, and he's an absolute legend. I mean, it's brutal out there.
Yeah, I don't know if that's them or just bad luck, but that's not a good situation out there.
So Carlos, answer me this then: is Sam Darnold top 12 quarterback in the NFL right now?
No.
Fantasy or real? Because fantasy maybe, but real hell no.
Yeah. No, fantasy is where I'm asking.
Oh, okay. That's different.
No, fantasy, I don't know. You guys are the fantasy guys.
He looks better than Garoppolo. He looks better than maybe 10 guys. Yeah.
For the record, Carlos, you're my fantasy guy.
What time you make a black man blush there again?
Hey, your cheeks do look purple.
Didn't notice, Los. Didn't look. All right. Well, what about old Taylor Heineke? What do you guys think about old Taylor Heineke up in Washington?
Just keep chucking to Scary Terry and you'll be okay.
Holy crap, dude. I did not believe in Terry McLaurin. I just had questions about who was, going to be throwing him the ball all year. Fitz gets hurt a lot and Heineke's backing him. And I don't know what it was, man. But man, I mean, this guy, top 5? I mean, maybe in fantasy and real life.
He's making his way there. I don't know. There's a lot of guys that are bunched in that top 5, but he's seems to be able to overcome whatever the situation is. If you can perform strong with Taylor Heineke as your quarterback, probably pretty good.
I mean, he catches everything. He reminds me of Nuke that way. Just sort of catches everything, gets chucked up to him. He looks amazing.
Reminds me of Wyatt on spring break.
I'm a catcher.
You're a power bottom is what you are. That's the difference.
That's a quote. Yeah. That's hearsay.
I'm a catcher.
I think if they don't get him in some Heineken commercials, they're wasting.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
They're wasting that.
Wow, that is a good point. Yeah. Let's get that.
Write that down.
What sort of residual do you get for that idea, Wyatt?
That's our sponsor, actually. It's
right.
Our sponsor of the day is Heineken. Now Heineken Light.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for like Nothing Bundt Cakes to be our sponsor. I don't know if I can get that or not. That'd be fantastic. These guys are effing delicious. Oh my gosh. All right, so Atlanta. The only thing worthwhile talking about with Atlanta is Cordero Patterson seems to have found a home.
Fuck that guy.
Because he ruined your fantasy day.
Because Nate, Bill of all people had Cordero Patterson. Are you fucking kidding me? How is that a thing?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Well, I mean, all he did was buy everybody on the waiver wire that seemed to be worth it. He just got lucky with them. I mean,
he pounded me good.
So where did Cordell Patterson go to college?
Isn't it Cordial? I think it's Cordial.
Cordial? He is pretty cordial guy, man.
Cherry Cordial.
But did he go to Minnesota? Was he drafted by Minnesota? Is that where he started?
Vikings, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he went to the Raiders for a little while. Then I think he went. Where else did he go? Did he go to the Chiefs?
I think he's played for everybody.
Yeah.
But
where's this guy been? I mean, he's a Swiss Army knife. I think so. Here's the thing I love about Cordell Patterson. He's the only guy in fantasy that's listed as both a running back and a wide receiver.
Yeah, definitely gives you some flexibility.
Oh, it's fantastic.
He was running kickoffs back in Chicago for a while.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
He's one of the best. He's kind of like Josh Cribbs, just one of the best returners.
Good name. Good name. Joshua Cribbs. Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. So, yeah, I mean, is this a system thing? Is it a Matty Ice thing? Like, how is – I mean, but really what he's done, though, just from the outside looking in, he's taken Kyle Pitts and made him just look mediocre. He's taken Mike Davis, a lot of touches away from him. And then the worst part, if you drafted Calvin Ridley, you want to slice your wrists open
Right.
I wanted Ridley bad. I'm glad I don't have him.
I thought he would be the #1 receiver in fantasy this year. Still could be, but that offense doesn't look awesome throwing the ball, but they can throw the ball to Cordarrelle Patterson.
Yeah, I mean, these little dump. I mean, and I don't think he's gone for a couple of longer plays, but a lot of them would seem to be like dump offs that he's just turned it into something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, interesting.
I don't know. 31-year-old journeyman returnman / backup wide receiver / backup running backs don't tend to have a lot of longevity, so we'll see how long that goes. But here's what I will say: if you have that guy on your fantasy team right now, trade him now. Well, forget that. There's no way that his value is any higher than it is right this second, because that's, like I said, that just doesn't seem to be a sustainable business model for Cordarrelle Patterson.
Oh, yeah. So, question. The Chicago Bears, do you just burn the whole thing to the ground right now? Or is Justin Fields actually something and it's a coaching thing?
Too early to say burn it to the ground. I mean, he looked okay. It's totally different game plan than they had in the first week with him, which was that game plan 2 weeks ago was really strange.
Yeah,
just
let him 3 yards he threw for or something.
Drop back 50 times or whatever it is, and never roll out, never do anything.
Times.
Yeah, it was silly. Now that was up against Myles Garrett. He was being a man that day, but still, it was a weird game plan. This one seemed to fit more of a rookie quarterback who you're trying to ease into the job, and so I got to give him credit for making the adjustments and coming out with a good plan. I thought the Lions were going to win that game. The Lions are, they seemed like a pretty good winless team, if there's such a thing, but they came out and took care of stuff. He looked pretty decent. So they have a long way to go. They're not a good team.
So Allen Robinson moving forward, I just have him on my bench. I've got him in 2 leagues. I'm not going to even flex him until he starts getting something. I don't see anything that shows that Allen Robinson is going to turn into anything, which is terrible. I think he's a very, very talented dude, but man, he looks awful so far this year.
Well, best thing that could happen for Allen Robinson is if Andy Dalton truly does go back to being the starter, like they say he will be. I mean, which might make sense. Ease the quarterback in. I mean, it used to be that you never started a rookie quarterback. Now it's like you always start the rookie quarterback. I don't know, but ease him in. Andy Dalton will be really good for Allen Robinson, but it doesn't look like there's a bunch there that's going to be exciting.
So if Damian Williams is available, do you pick him up right now?
Yeah, if you had David Montgomery, you unload the bucket at him. But
did we find out what David Montgomery has? I mean, he's a knee issue.
He avoided like major knee issue, but they said he'll be out like 4 to 5 weeks.
Okay,
but man, he looks good.
Yeah, that's another guy that I sort of avoided a little bit because even though he was really good down the stretch last year, the first half he was really rough. But man, he was awesome down the stretch. Carlos, have you seen that guy run much?
Yeah, he looks like just like he did in college. He's tough. The first guy always misses. It's great goal line, short yardage, and he'll pop you if you let him get loose too. So yeah, he's legit.
Yeah, I mean, he looked really, really good to start the season. Really, really good. Feel bad for owners of that guy. What about the Miami Dolphins? Is there a single player on Miami that's worth rostering?
It's a lot of beard scratching going on.
Sorry, I forget.
Well,
I just think
so
no. I was saying that
this is a stat
like you were thinking about it.
Here's a stat I saw earlier. Myles Gaskin, RB1. A lot of guys picked him to be their RB2. Maybe a flex guy for him. He had 12 snaps the whole game. Mm-hmm. Malcolm Brown had 35. 35. I mean,
if Malcolm Brown is beating you out, you have a problem. Hey, April, how do you feel about Myles Gaskin? That was not okay. That was.
Yeah, that's a little rough. All right.
Put the goose egg out last week. So.
All right, Carlos, question. Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill?
Both. You didn't ask me, but both. They have a cool system going.
Yeah.
Taysom comes in, changes pace. He's not going to be able to. I mean, if he's the all-time, not all-time, if he's taking every snap, he's not going to succeed.
Yeah.
He comes
Personally,
in.
I hate Jameis Winston, and I love black quarterbacks. I hate him. He should be
Why?
in jail for what he did in white girls.
Oh
at
boy,
Florida State.
it's gonna be a fight. I'm gonna let Derek. You speak
Oh,
for your man.
this is where we just disagree. Okay,
He's
I
still
don't care what I don't
That's
care
it.
what he did. I don't care what he did. He is my Boo Bear, and he
Oh my
is
God.
my
No,
all.
Derek,
Oh yeah.
I don't
Oh
like him.
oh
How?
oh nope.
LASIK
He's
LASIK
the
changed
best.
his life.
He's the best player for me.
How?
I don't know why. I've just latched onto the guy ever since his rookie year. I have no idea. I've had him on my team, my fantasy team every year. I love it when he eats the dubs. That was great.
That is the worst.
I know it was the worst. That made it even better. It's terrible. It was horrible. You see that video? How
My
everyone
trainer
looked at him when he
said-
did that? Oh, it's
So
so
what
funny.
did my trainer say? He just said be prepared.
The worst.
It's terrible. He's horrible. I love him.
I hate Jameis. I hate his name. I hate his gums.
Yeah.
I
Isn't it
hate-
James? No,
I
it's
hate
James.
about him.
You hate his gums.
I hate his gums. I hope he gets
Too
shot.
much
By,
shows?
that's how much I hate Jameis Winston.
I have no
You
logical
hope what?
reason to like it.
What?
Zero.
Well, you say whatever you will, but I mean, I'll say this: Taysom Hill had one of the best touchdown runs this last week. I mean, he was just
What,
absolutely.
he break like 5 or 6 tackles in one run?
I mean, it was crazy.
Eight.
I mean, Javante was the only run that was better all week. I mean, it
Yeah,
was,
but
it was
that one was
incredible.
pretty special because he
What
got
about
in the end
Brady?
zone.
What about Brady's
Yeah.
sexy?
Brady's
I mean,
6 yards,
His sexy 6 yards. for
the sexy
first.
6.
I need the Saints to give up everything and get Watson.
Watson.
Oh, that.
You're upset about Jameis doing something to them white girls,
He didn't do
but
nothing. Did you read what he did?
but
All he wanted was
but Deshaun, is it because the what? Oh, that's fine. Okay.
a couple knuckles in the butt cheeks. That's
Yeah.
Oh,
He paid him. He didn't
Yeah,
force him
but
to
he
do it.
did.
He
That's
paid him
fair.
to do it.
did it.
that's fair. So with that logic, if Jameis had paid, it would have been cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
Jameis
God.
was doing
Okay.
the same thing. Jameis was doing the same thing Kobe was doing, and that ain't right.
Gotcha. He was just using his status to get
You
it.
see what I'm saying?
If you pay for it, you get a
Yeah.
goods or service. Okay.
So listen.
Ninja, can we edit
Watson
in a
was laying
helicopter
down.
joke later? Or are we
Watson's
still
laying
live?
down, right? Watson's laying down on his back, and he's asking them to go ahead and dip on in him, and they did it. Okay, these women are doing what they want to do.
Mhm.
Jameis was doing horrible things. I hate Jameis. I'm gonna fight.
Fair enough. Los out.
They're both good people.
This is all I wanted to do all day long was have this
I
exact
take
conversation.
both of them over Kaepernick for the rest of forever.
Fantastic. Oh, don't make Carlos kneel during this podcast.
Damn it, too late.
Freaking great. Here we go. Nice.
Colin
So
Kaepernick is the black Tim Tebow. Both are trash, and
It's a
whatever.
black-
Good riddance.
So Miles Sanders, do you even keep him on your team if you have him?
I don't know who that is, so no, yeah, cut.
Oh,
Yeah, cut him. No,
He
the
doesn't get
Eagles
No.
running back.
He doesn't
Here,
get
Ed.
hurt.
Here, Ed. He's still good. They're using him poorly.
Right,
I don't
he
know
doesn't
how
have
else to
carries.
say it.
He's
Yeah,
getting
I mean,
enough carries.
a couple weeks ago against Dallas, he had what? He had 2/3. So the good news is he had 2/3 of the running back carries that week. The bad news is they only had 3 carries.
No.
So like I don't know how you can consider that usage. And then last week, same thing. It just seems like he still appears to be good, but I don't think they're using him at all.
Yeah. I mean, he had week 3 he had 2 rushing attempts, 2. He had 7 last week or on Sunday, 7.
He might be a good trade target. You can pick him up cheap and have some upside. I will say that. I don't love him, but
Yeah.
if you can get him on the cheap, you're not going to see many number 1 running backs that you can pick up cheap. Somebody just might be fed up and just go. I'd go attack that for sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, we talked about this guy a little bit last week. Carlos, I actually want your opinion on this guy. So Hunter Renfrow Did you see the tackle he made on that fake punt?
Yes.
Unfortunately, I did not. I didn't see it.
Oh, it was fantastic. So the Chargers attempted a punt. There was a punt attempt, and they did a fake.
He knew it was coming,
and he just beelined it to the guy catching the ball and put his hat right on the ball and just decleated this guy at the same time. And I mean, and it was awesome, man.
It was about as perfect as you could see from a undersized slot receiver playing punt returner. I mean, that was a good diagnosis of, he saw what was going on. He knew it was happening. He
he took a couple steps towards him and then just sprinted. It was awesome.
Yeah, he's just a football player. I love football players. You know what I mean? And sometimes you get big guys, strong guys, fast guys, and the NFL is such an odd sport. Football in general is such an odd sport where you could just take a freak athlete and find a spot for him. But every so often you just get guys who are, not saying he's not a good athlete, but some guys are just great football players, and he's just one of those kind of guys.
Yeah, totally agree. But I mean, I think he's rosterable at this point too. I mean, he's had 9, 7, 6, and 8 targets through the 4 weeks and 2 touchdowns on the year. I mean, and he's sort of Derek Carr's little whoopee. It's like he kind of loves him. I mean, he kind of reminds me a little bit of like Julian Edelman a little bit.
Oh, stop! He's too slow to be any of those guys.
Slow?
Yeah.
You think Edelman's faster than Renfro?
Yes.
Quick.
Probably.
Quick.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
He's a slow. He's slow. Edelman, Welker, those type of guys. Those guys were very quick feet. You couldn't cover those guys.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just seeing something with rose-colored glass with this guy. Maybe I'm just a little in love with him, but
he looks fan here, right?
He looks pretty quick out there. But yeah, you're right.
No. That's good. His route running's terrific though. That like they were talking about how he developed that route, or at least put a spin on that route, the out, up, and back in. The way he ran that, they were talking about it, how it's like virtually uncoverable if you do it right. He seems to run it really well. That's what got him both his touchdowns.
Yeah,
I don't know. He looks quick to me, but Carlos would know better than all of us.
That is correct. He's a typical. I think.
Although I covered you pretty well during the Turkey Bowl, as long as you were just warming up and in flip flops,
You did a great job.
I'm a high effort guy, high motor, good locker room guy. That means I'm white.
Didn't you tear your ACL in that game?
Probably. I don't know. I've torn it so many times.
Hey, do you remember? Hey, Los. No one's going to get this outside the podcast, but do you remember when Jeff Sawyer tore the back of his hamstring?
Oh my God!
Remember during the Turkey Bowl, and he shows up and he had a bruise on the back of his leg that went from the bottom of his ass all the way down the back
out of his mouth when he tore his hamstring. Oh my God! Hilarious.
Washed up punks. Fantastic. All right. Well, speaking of somebody who actually does have some wheels, Trey Lance. Do you think Jimmy G is going to get his job back when he comes back?
Doesn't matter. He'll be hurt in another 2 weeks. They'll devise a Colin Kaepernick type of scheme for him to get him going, and that should be the end of Jimmy G.
Yeah,
he can't stay healthy. Guys just can't stay healthy. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, I mean every year, right? It's like every year there's something wrong with this dude.
Yeah, the 1 year he stays healthy, they go to the Super Bowl. But outside of that, it's you just can't trust the guy.
Yeah, I think he's a pretty quality quarterback. I don't know if he's not elite, but I think he's quality. He just
he
can't.
Like 3 out of 4 games that he plays, he just can't stay healthy.
He's a winner.
Quality, not quantity. He doesn't play a quantity of games, but he plays
quality of games. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's the saying? Availability is the best capability, or something like that.
I think it was the best ability is availability.
Yeah, sure. There we go.
I think that's a Bill Parcells thing.
Smith.
Yeah, you got to be out there. But
reliable, available.
A lot of people are saying Trey Lance. At least what I'm seeing, Trey Lance is somebody you should add to your roster because of the running upside for this guy.
Yeah, red zone. What are you gonna do with him in the red zone? You got to count for him.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's
Just
true.
pass it to Kittle, please.
Yeah, touche. Yeah. Well, Brandon Ayuk. I mean, do you drop Brandon Ayuk at this point?
We can drop him for me. I think he'll still be something, but that's because I don't know. I have my rose-colored glasses for that guy.
Oof. I mean, he looked incredible the second half of last year.
It looked like they were getting him back involved 2 weeks ago, and then this last week, Debo just took over. I don't know if it's just game flow, luck, whatever. He's a hell of a player. I mean, and he's got a heck of an upside, but I just don't know if they're going to throw enough or too many mouths to feed or what it might be there.
Yeah, I don't get the crazy attention to Debo. I mean, this guy's had 12, 8, 10, and 12 targets in the first. I mean, I don't know if that's a ton of targets, man. I mean,
Debo's thick, boy.
Yeah, I mean, but he's got 3 touchdowns. I mean, if you're a Debo owner, you try to make a trade. Little sell high action.
No, I'd keep him.
Yeah, I think you got to keep him right now, right?
I think he'll be consistent.
I mean, unless you could seriously level up to like one of the elite guys. I mean,
grab a
if you could take if you can even take Debo and maybe you could get the owner of AJ Brown right now to give up or something like that. I guess I could see that, but unless you're really upgrading, I don't know that you're going to find much better with the way they're using him right now.
Yeah. I mean, is that the only way the Jets won that game? By the way, is because Brown and Julio were both out?
Yes.
I mean, I was gonna say, I have no idea how they won that friggin' game. That was crazy, man. That was crazy. Well, just a couple more.
Javon Curse play in that game? He's a difference maker.
He showed up.
Yeah, that's right.
Him and Randy Moss. I don't think anybody remembers Randy Moss played for.
Yeah, that's right.
Moss was a tight end.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
He had a cup of coffee there.
Yeah, he was just as good as he was for the Raiders. Piece of shit. I'm punching him.
I got to see Randy Moss catch a Brett Favre touchdown and beat my Cowboys in Minneapolis. I drove all the way out there for that back in the day.
Oh my!
First ever pro game.
Nice.
Yeah, the end.
That's rough as hell. That's rough as hell. So, Baltimore running back Tyson Williams did not suit up. No injury. What happened? Does anybody know what happened there?
Probably
they
child
don't
support.
have any trust.
What'd you say, Carlos?
Probably child support.
Child support back payments.
That'll get you.
I mean, holy crap. I mean, Latavius Murray seemed to have all the carries. Looked pretty good, actually. I mean, everyone was kind of trash talking Latavius Murray coming up that he wasn't going to do anything.
I tell you, he's washed up as that Le'Veon Bell. He looks
well, Devontae Freeman and Le'Veon Bell. I mean, they're worthless right now.
Yeah.
Well, they're on the team. I don't know. So Latavius Murray heard things right when they brought him over from the Saints that he fit their scheme a lot better than Tyson Williams, and there were some expectations that he would end up taking over. But I can tell you this: if you picked up Tyson Williams, if you got like a free agency budget or something, I promise that you probably spend a bunch for him as soon as Dobbins went down.
Bill.
Yeah, but he's just not good. There's a reason here. If you're in the NFL, you're obviously a badass. Kudos to you there, Carlos. But if you're a free agent, a rookie free agent starting, in the NFL, you're probably, and you weren't supposed to, you're probably not that great. And he just isn't that great.
Well, so next week, the Broncos go up into Pittsburgh.
My friend,
would you even start Sutton or Patrick next week with Drew Lock as QB?
Sutton.
What's that?
Is Teddy out?
Yeah. Well, it looks that way.
It looks that way. It's Sutton here. Yeah, Sutton for sure. Patrick, absolutely not. Like Sutton, Drew has such a laser lock on Cortland Sutton. He would be the only one to really even, think that might turn into something.
Wide receiver 2 or flex?
He's a wide receiver 2 for sure. I think. I mean, if it's all about targets, and Drew will throw to him. I mean, Tim Patrick was open 4 or 5 times. He was the design play, and he still threw to Cortland. There were 2 plays I saw where Cortland Sutton was not even expecting the ball. Like, he just wasn't expecting the ball at all, and the ball just gets in on him. It was really interesting. And Tim Patrick was wide open. Teddy understands that a bit better, and Drew Lock's just see guy, throw to guy, which is great in college, but doesn't seem to work in the NFL for some reason.
Yeah, Drew Lock is his read is predetermined before the ball is snapped.
Yeah.
He's going to his guy no matter what. Teddy's going to read the defense and hit the open guy.
Yeah, that's true. So the Chargers, Austin Eckler looked really, really good for the first time, I think. I mean, he looked okay, I think, in week 1, but kind of disappeared in week 2 and 3, but he looked really, really good. Is he an RB1 moving forward still?
Anytime he plays the Raiders, yes. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that thought Eckler was going to absolutely be like easy top 5.
Yeah, top 5
this year, but boy, he certainly didn't start great, but he looked good. I mean, he had what do you have? He had
gosh, he had almost 120 yards rushing.
Yeah, it was, I think, 120, 130.
That much.
Yeah, but
his upside
2 touchdowns
because of his receptions, though. Like, he's in that he's in that Alvin Kamara role with the whole New Orleans Saints offense. He's going to get his touches. They just might not be carries. Yeah. So he's not a Derrick Henry, obviously, who's going to get 150 yards, most games, but he is going to be so heavily involved. He is ridiculously strong for his size, and he has a nose for the end zone. He just knows how to run. Some guys just run bigger than they are, and he's one of them.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. Well, Los, you've always sort of been a Mike Williams guy. It sort of seems like this is sort of his breakout year, but despite a bad game 4.
Yeah, he's the quarterback is everything. Their quarterback's sensational.
Megatron. Yeah, he's looking like Megatron out there a little bit.
He's huge. He's huge.
Happy for Stafford.
That's the Rams.
Huh?
Herbert.
That's right.
Herbert.
I pulled a Herbert rookie out of a Target pack of cards, gave it to my brother.
Really?
Yeah, pretty lucky.
Or something. Well, it seemed like the Monday Night Football crew had both lips firmly wrapped around everything that Herbert's got packing.
I'm sure it's fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean,
what do you see his
missed on that pick? They went and saw him in Oregon twice and then passed on him. These guys are retarded out here.
Out here where?
They would have ruined him anyway, but whatever. At least he should be here.
You talking about the Broncos?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Not drafting him.
Yeah, we passed on Josh Allen.
He went to 2 Oregon games and passed on him. I'm like, you drafted Osweiler and other tall, lanky, stupid dudes. You went to see this guy twice and you passed on him. And so, now you're going to get your ass whooped by him for the next 15 years.
Yep.
Good job, John.
Oof. Yeah, quality. But Los, like you said, though, I don't trust that this coaching staff, at least the way it's made right now, they would have ruined it anyway. They wouldn't do it. And I was one of the people just completely upset that we didn't get Justin Fields. Right. But in retrospect, no, Teddy was better because Teddy was going to fit this coaching staff. This coaching staff is going to take every round peg, try and throw it in the square hole or whatever that is, square peg, round hole. And they just try and make everyone do what they want.
It'll take an Aaron Rodgers to come here or something like that and do like what Peyton Manning did and take over the whole organization and say, listen, bitch, this is how we're doing.
You wish.
Sit back and collect your check.
I do wish.
No, I definitely wish. Well, I mean,
it's you got Herbert, Mahomes, and Rodgers all in the same division. That would be
Derek Carr.
And Derek Carr.
And Derek Carr. Whoa.
That would be fun.
That's right. So we already mentioned him earlier, but the Broncos are going to go against the Steelers this week. Najee Harris is going to have a little bit of a tough game. I think the Denver front line's pretty tough, but
and there's no pass game to keep him honest.
I think Big Ben is going to get sacked 9 times.
I'll take the under.
I'll take the over.
I mean, I mean, they got a terrible offensive line, and the Broncos get to the quarterback real quick, and Ben can't run
At all.
I mean, there's got to be a bet for over 6 sacks or something like that.
I promise you there is. I'll find it.
Gamblers Anonymous.
Yeah, that's right.
Gamblers
You guys
Anonymous.
already talking about Josh Gordon?
No, actually, that's something I was talking about. So, sounds like he made the 53-man roster.
Yeah, he loves it. It's okay. They don't test for that anymore. Who cares?
Just COVID.
So
Just
I picked him up in one of my leagues. I had
What's the over under? How many games he's going to play before he gets suspended?
4. Yeah, that's got to be something you gamble on.
Because he's high right now.
No, that's a fact.
right now.
Yes, right now he's high.
Yeah, not right now, but right now.
And when they come to play the Broncos, he'll be high
Yeah,
before, after, and during the game.
a mile high.
A mile high, for sure. Well, I mean, I picked him up because I had guys that I wasn't playing at all, wouldn't be playing. I think I dropped.
He's going to be great for the 3-4 games that he plays.
Yeah.
He'll be great.
Yeah, he's worth a flyer, Nate. I mean, he's 31 now, which I mean isn't old in real person terms, but he hasn't played much football recently. He's no longer the dynamic deep threat. They have a zillion of those, so he's probably going to be the big body guy, maybe possession guy. I don't know. They don't really have that in that offense. So yeah, let's just give Mahomes another weapon. See what happens.
Sammy Watkins' role that Sammy Watkins.
Yeah.
He'll fill that role.
Yeah, I agree with that.
31's only 23 in hippie years, so
Yeah.
He doesn't have like any mileage on him, so I mean he's probably feels fresh.
True. And weed
So
keeps
fresh.
you young, so I've heard.
That's right.
Look at my baby
joints.
face.
He's got no glaucoma.
I'm
Right.
48.
At all.
Uh-uh.
No glaucoma. And his joints have got to feel really good too.
They roll
Good.
tight.
That's a double entendre right there.
You did there, joints. That's funny.
Oh, I see what you did. I'm too slow.
You see what I did there with the joints? Fantastic. All right, fellas. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week. Next time, we'll see you.
Yeah, let's think of a name.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, sounds good. This was fun. I really enjoyed this, guys.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right.
Great way to spend the last day of my vacation.